Hi, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via, and today is October 19th, 2020. We're going to start just like we always do, lying on your back, supine. You may have a washcloth or towel underneath your head. You want to have your cervical spine be in a neutral position. And just start to notice your breath without changing it. Notice your breath. Notice any sounds around you. Notice the floor coming up to meet you on your back body. Notice the air. I love my body loves me. Now go ahead and focus on the pituitary gland, which is behind your eye sockets, and just a little bit below where the occipital nerve crosses behind the socket. This is a great place to actually spend time if you want to be very, very quiet. Bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers or stack your hands one on top of the other. Vagus nerve reset. Without moving anything but your eyeballs, you can have your eyes open or closed. Shift your eyeballs to the right. And wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. And then come back to center and shift your eyeballs to the left. And wait for a sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Come back to center. And do this two more sets, right, left, without my cueing. Keep your hands where they are, and we're going to move into head ramping. So just press the back of the skull, the lower part, the occipital ridge, the bottom edge of the skull. Press it into your hands, into the floor, into the mat. Press and hold just for a couple breaths. Keep breathing. Your skull slides up along the mat. Your chin drops a little. And then release and repeat. Repeat this 4 times. I'm assuming you work on a computer or play with your cell phone. And if you do, I recommend doing this as a counterbalance once an hour. You can do it seated or standing. You can actually do it without your hands behind your back, or you can put your hands behind your back and clasp and press. Provides you a little more structure of the hands. And finish up. Bring your hands beside your hips. We're going to do an extended exhale breath. You can put your hands on your belly, or one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, or you can put just whatever's comfortable. And the extended exhale breath, you count the length of your inhale, and then you make your exhale longer than that. So maybe it's 1, 2, 3 on the inhale. Then try to make your exhale at least 4, and if you can, double the length of the exhale. So make it twice as long. That's harder to do in the beginning. And finish up. We're going to start with the neck and jaw series. So you're going to need a brick and a therapy ball or a tennis ball. 1. No, 2. 2 for the first few sets, first few moves. 2 in a tote, or 2 tennis balls in a sock. On your brick, so your brick is behind your head, and then the horizontal balls are on the brick, and then your occipital ridge, the back of your head, is on your brick. So that's position 1. And then just stay here for a little bit without doing anything. Kind of noticing your breath, not catching it, but noticing it. And then continue to be aware of your breath during this entire series and today's practice, actually. In this position, start to nod, chin up, chin down. Let's do about 6. If your ball moves, just adjust it. Your balls move, just adjust it. And now side to side, so small side to side movement. If this is too much for you, if the weight of your head on the balls is too much, you could do some of this work seated with some balls. Not this one so easily, but some of them are coming up. Another thing you could do to reduce the pressure is put a towel or a washcloth over your balls to make a little cushion. So just side to side. Bring yourself back to center, bring your face back to center, and then make a figure eight or an infinity, same thing, in one direction 6 times and then in the other direction. Over the balls. Reverse your direction. Come back to center. And now position 2, you're going to turn your head to the right. Let's start to the right. We'll do it on both sides. Turn your head to the right. So literally the only place your head is meeting the ball is on one ball, on the front ball. And there you are with your head turned. And now nod, small nod with your head turned. And then a small side to side movement. Don't come all the way back to center. It's just a little movement side to side. And then go ahead and go to the other side. Look to the left, all the way to the left. And from there, a small nod. And then a small side to side movement. And we're going to go to a sideline position, but before we do that, please take one ball out of the bag and put it at the back of your head while you're supine. This is the bonus. This is a bonus. It's not really in the series, but you're going to put it underneath at the occipital ridge. So this is actually a very restful pose. There's a place here at the very center of your neck that enjoys this work. Not to move, just to be there. And breathing. And now let's go to the rest of the positions for the neck and jaw series. The rest of them are side lying. So you're going to want to put and they're with one ball. So just one therapy ball. The first position is right behind just in front of your earlobe, on your neck, just outside the jaw, behind your earlobe, where your earring backing might be. That's where the ball goes. And you're going to nod, chin up, chin down. 6 times. Now, again, if this is too hard on you, if you hold a lot of tension, this might be too much. You could be seated and doing this, something similar. And then a small side to side movement. We're going to stay on this side and do all of the rest of the positions before we move to the other side. So the next position, place your ball at this in the cheekbone, in the middle of your cheekbone. And up and down you go. And side to side. Open and close your mouth. Last position is at the temple. Put your ball on the brick. Well, remember, you could do this seated without as much pressure. And then just nod, chin up, chin down. Find your favorite place in the temple. We hold a lot of tension here, actually. This whole series is designed to reduce the stress and tension that we hold in the neck and shoulders and face. And side to side. If you're about to fall asleep now, you're right on track.
That's me.
Stay alert so you can do the other side. Stay alert enough to do the other side. That's all. That's all I'm asking. Go ahead and switch sides. So you're still side lying, and you're going to switch to the other end of her mat so we can see her. And the first position is just behind the earlobe. And from there, nodding, chin up, chin down. If you haven't done this very often, this may be a very tender place to work. And side to side. And then go to the cheekbone, the jawbone. There's a little indent there just underneath your cheekbone. And then start to nod, chin up, chin down. And then side to side. Open and close your jaw 6 times. And then move your ball to your temple, the left side, the other side of the temple. And just nod, chin up, chin down. Side to side. Stay here and grab 2 balls and lie on your back and put the balls. Well, Kathy, can you sit up and put the balls, the 2 balls, close together at the top of the spine to so demonstrate where the balls will be. Everybody's going to be lying on their back ultimately. Not in the, don't, let's start outside the tote, just outside the tote. The balls are together, but they're not being held together by the bag. So Kathy will turn around and just take her balls and put them, you're going to put them at high. It's a high up by the ears almost. So as high as you can go, close together, horizontal, on each side of the spine, on each side of the vertebra. And now you're gonna lie down and do that. We're gonna do a bridge. We're gonna come up into a bridge if you dare. This can be pretty intense if you hold a lot of tension in your upper traps. So there you are. You're literally going to trap your ball with your traps. I don't know whether whether you should have a brick there. Now lift your hips up and stay here and breathe for a couple breaths. This is going to be pretty intense. If it's hard for you, I would do this something similar seated, where you're rubbing on your balls at this area. It's right up just before the cervical spine, just where the trapezius muscles are. And then come on down and go up again, and you can go up again and do overhead arms. So bridge with overhead arms, maybe. And breathe, keep breathing. And then come back down, move the balls apart. They're in the same location, along the same horizontal line, but they're a little farther apart. They're about an inch away, an inch, 2 inches away from the, 1 inch on either side, 2 inches away from each other. Now, do the same thing, trap them with your traps, lift your butt up, and breathe. And stay here, and you could put a brick under your butt if you needed to. Come on back down slowly. And now come back up and do a bridge with overhead arms. Up and overhead. And stay here. And breathe. Stay here as long as you can for a couple breaths here. And then go ahead and come on out of that. Bring your balls together between your shoulder blades. So they're down about 2 or 3 inches between your shoulder blades. They're together and between your blades. You can do this in 1-inch increments all the way down your spine. We don't have time for that. It would take more than the rest of the class. So your balls are quite down in the middle of your upper back. And you can start to do protraction, retraction here. So the arms come up towards the ceiling, and the shoulder blades are moving away from the spine and away from the spine. So the arms move up towards the ceiling because the shoulder blades move. You know how to do this. So straight arm, scapula protraction, retraction on therapy balls. And now go ahead and take your arms overhead. And now go and hug yourself. Go ahead and hug yourself and rock from side to side. Just give yourself a big hug and rock from side to side. So you can do those kinds of movements all the way down your back with those balls. It will actually do quite a bit to release tension in your upper and mid back. Finish up. Come to a floor seated position with a strap. Your favorite floor seated position. It could be crossed legs, could be hero's pose, which is kneeling. It could be a Z position, like Kathy's demonstrating. Could be stacked knees, which is one of my favorite positions, stacked forward knees there. There are probably others, but just find one and find your strap. And the strap, you want to have the strap about shoulder distance apart. You want to hold on to the strap, one piece of the strap, shoulder distance apart out in front of you. And then bring your strap overhead by your ears. And then you're going to want to take the strap and take it wider. Take your arms wider so that you can bring your arms, using the tension and the structure that the strap offers, you can take your arms behind you as far as you can go. And then come back up. You're going to come back up overhead. You're going to have to bring your strap in again. This is the hardest part. Taking the short strap and then the wider strap, and then come on down in front of you. Let's do that again. Up, overhead arms, straps wide, and then bring your arms behind you as far as you can go. Stay in good position. So stay in good posture. And then come back up. And this time, start with the arms overhead. No, we're going to do start with the arms overhead and the strap wide. We're going to do a side bend using a strap. So it's going to look different than our side bend that we usually do, but you're just going to drop the strap, keep the structure and the tension in the strap, and drop to one side. Keep your hips and your sits bones on the floor. On the floor even. And stay here and breathe. Let the strap, pull on the strap, so create some tension here. Come back up and do it the other side. If you should be switching legs as well when you go to the other side. If you're in an asymmetrical or cross-legged floor-seated position. Just stay here and breathe. anything we do floor seated, if that's uncomfortable for you, you can do it in a chair. So just so you know, for now and future reference, come on back up. Switch your legs again if you need to. And go to the other side. Stay here and breathe. Come on back up to center. Other side, last side. Come back up. Bring your left arm straight up toward the ceiling and drop your right arm behind you for shoulder flossing. So the left arm is straight and the right arm is behind you. So you're flossing the right shoulder. The left arm is straight to the ceiling. The other, you bring the strap down and behind you on the right side. Come up again to center. And then now the right arm is up and the left arm is behind you. Nice. Should feel good. Stay here and breathe. While you're doing some of these things, you could move your head left, right, up, down. That's just a bonus. I'm not going to cue it. Don't be rough on your head. No. Gentle movements. Come on back up. We'll do one more. Flossing on each shoulder. Left arm up, right arm back behind. Sitting tall. Moving your head left and right if you want. Come back up to center. Right arm up high, straight. Left arm behind you. These are the 3 shoulder stretches you can do with strap. And then come on back and just release your strap. You can shake your arms and wrists. You could shrug your shoulders. We're going to do shoulder clam, what I call shoulder clams. We're going to bring interlace your fingers in front of your face high. So your elbows are by your chin or no lower than your chin. And you're interlacing your fingers and then create a little hole and put the base of your palm together. Have a hole you could look through. And now from here, you're going to imagine you have a sponge ball between your elbows and you're going to deflate the sponge ball and then inflate it. So this is an isometric, but you should feel it in the traps. Sit tall and back and forth you go. Deflate and inflate. You can experiment with the position of your elbows, but no lower than your chin. They can go up higher. One more. And just relax for a minute. We're going to do, next thing we're going to do is another Kihara shoulder stretch called Saturday Night Fever. You're going to start, you can start with your right arm up by your ear, right ear. No, let's start with it on the knee. Cross your right arm over and put it on your left knee. And then put your other hand on top of the wrist. the right wrist. So the left hand is, so that's where your resistance is. This is a Mukhihara movement. You're always moving and always resisting. So go ahead and bring your arm, right arm up by your ear, while the other hand resists that movement, and then come on down. So bring this time the top hand wins, and then coming up, the bottom arm comes up with resistance from the top hand. When you get here to the top, go ahead and pull your arm a little bit out of the socket to allow for the downward movement. Bring it down, pushing down. So this time the top hand wins. And when you get down to the bottom, you can drop your ear towards the hand that's on the knee. Just for a little, you don't want to stay here too long because this is a moving movement. So go ahead and then come on up. Each time you come up, as you're about to come down, pull your arm a little bit out of the socket to make more space. Always a little bit of tension between the top hand and the bottom arm. Up and down you go. A couple more times. And this could be exhausting if you have a lot of tension in your shoulders. So stop early if you need to. We're going to do one more. And go ahead and come up to center, switch sides. You can switch your legs too. Left hand on right knee, right hand on left wrist. Come on up, up you go. Remember, lift your arm when it's at the top, lift it a little bit out for the downward, to leave space for the downward movement. When you get down, drop your head towards your knee. Come on up. Keep going, always moving, always resisting. So you should feel a little resistance. Don't wear yourself out. It's more like a dance than a competition. Let's do one more.
Oops, wrong way.
Finish up. And switch legs. We're going to do spine twist, floor-seated spine twist. So starting on the right side, your left hand is on your right knee. And then bring your right arm behind you. Put the fingers on the floor like a spider. And try to create as big a spine twist as you can get, so that your chest is almost facing a perpendicular direction from the hips. Not opposite, but 180. Once you find that, I'd like you to add an intercostal slide. So without destroying your spine twist, make a side-to-side movement with your rib cage. Don't use your trapezius, keep them quiet, your upper traps. And then just slowly come out of this, unravel, go to the other side. We'll do this on the opposite side. Right knee, right hand on left knee. The left arm comes behind you, creates a spine twist, nice spine twist, seated spine twist. This is a traditional yoga pose, but we're adding a bonus. Once you get to your spine twist, start to move your rib cage side to side. Keep Keep the movement in the rib cage. And then go ahead and come back all the way to center, return, switch your legs. We're going to do it one more time. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind you. Make a little spider with your fingers. Find your spine twist. Sit tall. And then about 6 slides of the rib cage, side to side. Keep it in the rib cage. Slowly come on back to the other side. Last time. Right knee, right hand on left knee, left arm behind you. Spider fingers, spine twist. Keep your spine twist and then move your rib cage from side to side. And come on back. We're going to come up to standing or back bend at the wall. Go ahead and stand with your back to the wall in good posture. Bring your arms up overhead and put your hands or your fingertips, whatever reaches. You're trying to get your whole hand onto the wall, but some people may only be able to get their fingertips. I'm going to time this for you because this is a bone building call, bone building move. Just staying here and breathing. So remember that your ankles and knees and hips are stacked. So what you're pushing forward is your chest. So this is an upper back bend. It's not a lumbar bend so much. Let's do come out of that slowly. Do a side bend at the wall, spine twist at the wall. Sorry, not a side bend. Right shoulder at the wall, right foot forward, left foot back. Bend your arms and swivel your upper back, your thoracic spine towards the wall. And we're going to move on to start counting. Just staying here and breathing and enjoying this twist. It will make a huge difference in your shoulders, actually, in your posture. It will build new bone. I love these twists. I love sharing these twists with you. Come out of that slowly, and we'll go to the other side. Left shoulder at the wall, left foot forward, right foot behind. Bend your elbows and rotate the upper back toward the wall. Stay here and breathe. use your hands to provide more of a twist than you thought you could get. Come on back, all the way back. We're going to do another back bend. So back to the wall, arms up overhead on the wall. Chest open. Back extension. And keep your hips and your knees and your ankles lined up. Keep soft knees too. You don't want to hyperextend your knees on this. Okay, before we go down to the floor, we're going to do balancing on one foot. So you're going to be standing near a wall or a chair or something, because this is a balancing pose and you need to be able to touch something that will support you if you lose your balance. Okay, so standing in good posture with your feet forward, your toes forward, and your hips at your own preferential distance apart, but it's usually described as the feet are hip distance apart. But you can spend a little time. Actually, let's take a little time for you to feel, does that cue mean that my feet should be this wide or that wide? So bring them in a little bit, bring them out a little bit, find out what feels comfortable to you and make a note of that. That may be your place. So it's not exactly the same for everyone. It's a preference. Okay. Now, standing on your right foot, bring your left knee up towards your chest. And we're gonna hold for 30 seconds. See if you can do it without any support, or if you need to, you can put your hand on a chair or a wall. How can I increase my balance? Stand on one foot. There are several versions of this, but this is one of them. Switch sides. Whoops, I gotta start the timer. If your arms start to wiggle, that's okay, because you have an internal mechanism that helps you with your balance. If you want to make this harder, close your eyes. And then you'll notice that mechanism working for you. If you want to make it even harder, find a partner, you both balance on one foot, and then you toss a sponge ball back and forth. Okay, that's probably not as available in Zoom. If there were an in-person class, we could do that. Let's do it again. Right side, balancing on one, standing on one leg, lifting the other knee. If you're at the grocery store and you want to do this, you probably, and you have your cart in front of you, you may not be able to bring your knee up. You'd bring your foot behind you. Same thing. Switch sides. And come on back. Find your way onto the floor, onto your belly. We're going to do a back extension, a Pilates version of a back extension, level 1 and 2. You may want to put something cushiony underneath your pubic bone if it's sensitive. You may want to put a towel underneath your forehead. So you're lying on the floor in a prone position with your arms beside you, palms up. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift your chest, your arms, and your head. But remember that you want to find that same head ramping position where your head is sliding back along an imaginary wall behind you. I forgot to time, but I'm going to say take a couple more breaths. And then inhale to prepare and exhale to come on down. Kathy, you can get up a lot higher than I can because you do this every 3 days a week. And I'm just sitting here. Just so you know, I always feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's like Kathy does it. Okay, the more you do it, the higher you'll get. Okay. Inhale, bring your chest, your head, your arms up. Remember, you're finding a head ramping position. Take another breath and then take an inhale to prepare for airplane and exhale, arms out to the side. Stay here and breathe. And if you want to, you can bring your chest up a little higher if it's available to you. And then go ahead and inhale, prepare to return, and exhale to return. Bring your arms out in a T. For a thoracic release, see how much you can get for yourself today in this one. Your arms and your armpits stay on the floor. That's the only rule. Look to the right, lift your right leg and bring it behind you. You can roll your hips back as far as you want, as long as you can keep your other shoulder, your right shoulder on the floor. That's the hard shoulder to keep on the floor. When your leg is lifting, your shoulder wants to lift, but don't do that. But do everything else. You may be able to feel your vertebra actually crack or pop as you, this hip and foot movement actually release the upper back. Come on back. Look to the left leg up and over behind you. Keep your left arm and armpit on the floor. Stay here. Breathe. You can bend your knee or not. You can try to touch your toes to the floor or not. At some point, you'll actually see that what you do with your feet and your hips and your legs affects your upper back. Come on back. We're going to do it one more time. Look right, lift your right leg, and bring it back behind you. And enjoy the relief and release that happens in the upper back. Come on back. Last one, last side. Look left, left leg comes up and over and behind. And there you go, just breathing and enjoying this. I love this movement because it's kind of a counter movement to the back extension we do. And since I love the back extension, This comes nicely right afterwards. Come on back. Find your way onto your back for Yoga Nidra. We repeat the same. I repeat the same Yoga Nidra script all the time because it's cumulative. The effects are cumulative. And actually, the more you do it, the more you benefit. And the thing I like about it, Yoga Nidras can be very long. Actually, it's lovely to have an hour-long Yoga Nidra. But if we had an hour-long Yoga Nidra, we wouldn't have everything else we do. So I like it because it's very efficient. You get to address, travel to, in your mind, to 61 body parts in just a matter of a couple minutes. It's like lasts maybe 3 minutes. Okay, so you found your comfortable place while I lathered on. But I think it's worth explaining why we keep doing this. Go ahead and start to pay attention to your breath and observe your abdomen as it rises and falls with your breath. Now bring your attention and your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This concludes your 61-point guided Yoga Nidra meditation. Take a breath and start to bring your attention back to the room. And extend your legs, extend your arms over your ears, overhead arms. Stretch in both directions, trying to create a little more space at the waist. And wiggle and stretch left side, right side. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Wiggle your, circle your ankles and your wrists. Hug one knee into your chest. Hug the other knee into your chest. Hug both knees into your chest and rock from side to side. And then whenever you're ready, rock all the way to the side. Use your arm, bottom arm as a pillow. Use your top arm. Press your palm and your fingers into the floor, and then press away from the floor, trying not to round your back. As you come up to your favorite floor seated position, unmute yourself. Oh, I never did turn on my video. Okay, unmute yourself. I'm going to remove the spotlight from Kathy. I'm going to view everybody on a gallery, which means I can see all your pictures. And we're going to just close with Namaste. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. Press really strongly first, everybody. Press and have one hand say hello to the other. And then release into a relaxed prayer pose. Lift the occipital ridge up. So head ramping position. Up toward the ceiling. And then nod the head forward over the cervical, top of the cervical spine, C1. And nodding, bowing to each other, acknowledging, recognizing, and honoring the light in each of us. And knowing that we're all one light. We're all connected. And we'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
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 Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you. That was